Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever and whenever you are. My name is John, or Last Frontier Bricks, and this is my review of the LEGO Star Wars 2016 Rebel U-Wing Fighter from Rogue One. It is set number 75155, comes with 659 pieces, including 5 figures, and originally retailed for $80. Although trying to get this thing on Bricklink now, brand new sealed, you're looking at no less than 180. So quite the price hike you go for this instead. Although I can understand that considering, like I said, this set came out in 2016, so it has been off the shelves for quite some time. Taking a look at the instruction manual, you can see the U-Wing in action. Get from the little bit of the structure you see in the left corner here. I would imagine that this is supposed to be Jeddah. And on top of that, it does look like a bit of a desert background. And you can see all 5 figures in this set, those being Jyn, Cassian, a standard Rebel Trooper, Bistan, and your pilot. Plus, it has the Rogue One style box art with the Death Trooper in the top right corner. Opening the instruction manual, you'll have the usual instructions on how you're supposed to how to build the set, basically going in bag by bag, and the instructions on how to use the brick separator, and then it just jumps straight into the build. Taking a look, okay, and at the back, you have your usual parts list, plus a couple of ads, one for the LEGO Star Wars Force Builder app, plus ads for the entire Rogue One wave and all the figures. Whereas with those sets being the Imperial Armored Hover Tank, the AT-ST, the TIE Striker, this set, the U-Wing, and Krennic's Shuttle. I will admit, one of my big LEGO Star Wars regrets is that the only set I have of this initial Rogue One wave is the U-Wing. What can I say? When the sets first got revealed, I wasn't really all that hyped for the set. Plus, I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about the movie. And then I saw the movie, absolutely fell in love with it, and was disappointed that I wasn't able to get a hold of the rest of the sets. Let's just say at the time I was rather financially restricted, so I really had to pick and choose what sets I wanted to get. And at the time, I was big on Marvel superheroes. So I honestly don't remember what movies were for Marvel were coming out in 2016. But when it came to sets, when I had to pick and choose, when push came to shove, Marvel tended to win out. So yeah, I ended up not getting a whole lot of Rogue One sets. The only other Rogue One set I got it was the Y-Wing that came out in the second wave of Rogue One sets. So yeah, big LEGO disappointment. Hopefully someday I'll be able to collect the rest of them. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get to the review on the set, starting with those figures. And starting off with our figures, we have Jyn Erso, our main character from Rogue One. She ends up being quite a very detailed figure, starting off with the hat, with the very detailed rebel hat. And I love the attention of the communication and the eyes is here or on the left side and painted in metallic gray. You get get a good amount of hair sticking out. Plus, here you have the little goggle piece that you tend to find on the Rebel Hoth troopers. Her main face is very recognizable nowadays. Nowadays. It was originally made for Jyn, and so this was the first time you saw this face. But it's shown up quite a bit afterwards, especially with Black Widow from the Marvel line. As you her cloth piece is actually quite unique. I actually, when I and just feeling this is up, getting ready to do this review. Honestly, my first thought was, I'm actually kind of hesitant to just call it cloth because it almost just feels like cotton. Just straight up, almost feels like just straight up cotton, and that's a good thing. That's very unique when it comes to a cloth piece. I almost wish Leica would do this more often, but it's very unique to this figure. You see that she's got a little satchel bag over her shoulder, plus her a couple of weapons. She's got like the Ray style Han Solo blaster pistol in the metallic gray, and also unique to this figure, it's a basically a buildable rocket launcher with just a little clip piece to hold on to. Oh, the main part is a lightsaber hilt in metallic dark gray, and a couple of these like almost eye-like pieces on the ends instead to make the rocket launcher. Let me go ahead and get the cloth piece off, and then I'll show you, I'll show you what the torso piece looks like. And with the cloth piece, you can see a good look at the torso. Also, she's got a much angrier secondary face. It's so good, so some good detail on the torso. Oh, with the vest and just a little bit of metallic, and on the front and the back is relatively plain. Basically, finishes is off the vest she's got. So good looking figure for Jyn. And next up, we have our other main character, Cassian Andor, and he looks pretty good as well. Good hair piece. His face detailing looks really good between the mustache, the full beard, and a little bit and a good amount of stubble on the side. That looks really good. His torso is pretty detailed as well. You can see just a little bit of the fur from his hood. A little bit metallic gray on the belt. There's some good detailing all around, and all the way down to the legs. I'm not sure if the medium nougat legs are accurate to the figure. Like if that's the color of his boots, I honestly don't remember. But it does look really good. His weapon is the standard Star Wars blaster and the metallic dark gray. He does have a secondary face, which looks like the first phase it has a little bit of a smirk. The other one is a bit more neutral. Although I would point out that the you may notice that the hairpiece doesn't quite go all the way down to the back of the head, so you can make out his beard and a little bit of the stubble on the secondary face. The back of the torso however, it looks good as well. Again, just a little bit of metallic green gray painting at the bottom, and a better look at the hood with the fur attached with the fur on it. So another good looking figure when it comes to Cassian. And next up, we have probably the most unique figure in this set. We have Bistan. His entire head, from the top down to this little rim here, is one fully unique piece. One full piece unique to this set. And here's what it looks like on the inside. So I wouldn't exactly call it dual molded, but it is quite unique. A lot of detail put into and between the medium nougat for the main color, or with a little bit with light nougat detailing all over his face, including the mustache, and a bit more medium nougat in the back, and black for the main. And here, his eyes, look a bit like a reddish brown. Plus, he got a mouth with teeth, very unique headpiece. And I can only imagine. I'm pretty sure the character is in a jumpsuit. So I can only imagine the rim around the neck. Okay, it's probably where a helmet would go. I almost wonder if it might be like Buzz Lightyear style. I could see that happening. And anyway, the torso is pretty detailed as well. Oh, with all the straps and the torso down to the waist, all the way down to the legs. There's a whole bunch of clips going on, which I imagine and holds some life support systems. This almost looks like an air tank there on the strap. So quite a bit detail and some more detailing on the back as well. and he once again has the regular Star Wars blaster in the gunmetal gray. So again, very unique figure to this set. Probably very hard to get a hold of. And next up, we have our U-Wing pilot. You'll notice that his flight suit is in blue, which, so I imagine this means this pilot is part of the Blue Squadron. Taking a look at the helmet, there's quite a bit of detail going on between the yellow markings on the left and right, the checker red markings on the top, plus quite a bit of detail on the middle ridge, quite a bit of detail. The main face looks really good. With the printed visor, and the mic on the left side, plus the chin strap, and he looks like a face ready for action. His alternate face on the other side looks like things have gone horribly wrong. Long as he looks like that face almost looks like he's getting ready to crash. Just taking a look at the torso, like I said, it's a basic a rebel flight suit in blue, but it looks really good. Lots of details between. I think those are supposed to be code sealers on the waist. The holes going from the torso down to the waist piece and back up to the torso looks really good. All the straps going on the main torso life support system on the torso looks really good. And the back end looks good as well. And it's much like Cassian's hairpiece. He seems the Rebel pilot helmet doesn't quite go all the way down to the back of the head. So once again, you can see a little bit of the secondary face. One of the things I've been noticing with helmets and hair pieces, they will try to make it as perfect as can be, but they don't really take into the consideration that the fact that they might show off the secondary face. But other than that, the back of the torso looks pretty good with the back of the S and another strap around the torso. No arm no arm printing, but I don't think that's really necessary. And his blaster is the regular Han Solo style blaster in black. Very good looking pilot figure. And for our final figure, we have a standard Rebel Trooper. Considering the box art is supposed to be based off of Jedha, I won't be too surprised to find that this is supposed to be one of Saul's guys. I gotta admit, when I was getting ready to do my review on this set, I completely forgot that this guy was even in this set. I thought the figures were just Jyn, Cassie, and Bistan, and the U-Wing pilot. So when I was getting everything ready, I took a look at the instructions. I was like, wait a minute, I don't remember there being a fifth figure here. So fortunately, I still had him. Honestly, it took a while for me to find him. I was almost afraid I'd up and sold him because I didn't really need him. But fortunately, I do still have him. Anyway, it's quite a unique figure. His helmet is almost a bit of a combo. Like it's got the almost like the shape of the Rebel Fleet Trooper helmet, but it's got the colors of an Endor Trooper or garb. So quite a unique helmet design. His face is nothing too crazy. It looks it's a pretty generic face, and there isn't a secondary face. His weapon is a third Star Wars blaster in gunmetal gray, and his torso is looks pretty good. He's got a couple of like the Captain Rex style oversized weapon pouches is going on. Nothing too crazy when it comes to coloring, although I do like the mix of color between like the forest like the almost green gray combo. Oh, and then the forest green, and then a mix of regular brown and like dark tan. That's on the legs. That's quite a color combination. Plus the gray on the weapon pouches. Yes, and so quite unique color combination. And here is his back printing again with the gray with the weapon strap, a good color combination, and a printed pouch in the back. Okay. Also, I almost forgot to mention the yellow markings on the helmet on the left side. It looks really good. And so for a figure that I honestly forgot was even in the set, it looks pretty good and rounds out the figures really well. And here is the U-wing itself. One thing I'll have to point out is that this thing leaves quite the footprint no matter what the shape you have the ship in. And the standard shape here, you are looking at 18 inches long from wingtip down to the cone, and about 6 inches wide and at the widest point right around here by the cockpit. But of course, there is a secondary shape for this set because, much like the ship in universe, this thing's wings can fold out with the use of these. I I wouldn't call them ball joints, but maybe like ball clips. And so where you get where you have these ball sections here that clip onto these sections here. There are the same things going on with the front of the wings, and of course you can fold them out like so. And oops, come on, somewhere I can grab on where something doesn't interact. There we go. And there you can have the ship in flight mode, where it's actually thinner in this section, about 3.5 inches wide, but the wingspan goes to 25 inches from wingtip to wingtip. So again, leaves a very large footprint. So starting off with the playing features, as they kind of already made its attention, there are a couple of spring-loaded shooters in the front, and they are integrated very, very well. Let me pull the wings back up. So yeah, very good function with the wings. As for the spring-loaded shooters, they are integrated very, very well, built right into the nose. And the triggering function are these 1x2 plates in blue, which you may notice only barely move up, but in height. And once you have the shot in, and all you have to do is push down, and if it fires off, goes very far. And again, you can only barely notice the difference in height once you got it on there. Uh, after that, you do have a cockpit. One thing you will notice is that it goes in there pretty far, or like you can just like grab onto it by the sides and it'll open up. But just in case that's a bit difficult, Lego took that into consideration and added a little function to make it just a little bit easier. All you have to do is press back on these 1x1 circular plates, and they are connected to some Technic pins, which just like over here with this Technic beam, which moves it just enough to make it a little bit easier to access the cockpit. And as you can see, there is a printed 1x2 cheese edge here for a control panel. Unfortunately, there aren't really any control sticks. They made it a bit difficult to be able to get in there. But you see that there is a custom built seat. Uses only 3 pieces. But as you can see, there aren't any studs, so it's super easy to get your U-wing pilot in and out of there. His feet just hold on to this piece right here, and he just slides right in there, and there's plenty of room for him. And there we go. Yeah, he just slides right in there. And with this being in a troop transport gunship, there's actually a secondary glass piece underneath. If the top one uses the regular, the new standard X-wing glass piece, while the bottom one actually uses the UCS as X-wing glass piece, and you can actually see just make out the pilot and from looking underneath, so you can kind of see the kind of view he has. You notice that there are a couple of stickers on here. Actually, there's quite a few stickers on here. There's a couple here on the wings, some on the engines, and it looks pretty. And they add some good detail. Speaking of detail, I do remember mentioning that the U-wing is almost a bit of an amalgamation of ships. Like you have the engines and folding wings, and like I said, the glass cockpit. From the X-wing, you have the two forward-facing guns from the Y-wing, and once you got the wings folded out, yeah. Let me get those unfolded again. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Tight fit. Tight grip. Anyway, once you got the wings folded out, the cockpit area almost looks like that of an A-wing. And I remember, if I remember right, they even mentioned that the fact that once you got the wings swept back in flight mode, that's actually supposed to be a bit of an homage to Padme Amidala's ship at the beginning of Attack of the Clones, the one that gets destroyed by Zam Wesell. So yeah, quite the amalgamation of ship designs thrown into the U-wing. So yeah, really like that. Behind the cockpit, you got some good engine detailing. Like you got like a hot rod engine piece here, and then you got like a the van brace piece here, which almost kind of reminds me of Wolverine's claws. So interesting piece use there. Also, speaking of interesting piece usage, in the engines, these great pieces here actually minifigure ice picks from their Arctic sets. So yeah, very interesting piece usage there. The engines look really good. They're attached into the ship by Technic pin, and seems good good detailing on the and plus you got the thruster pieces, some transparent orange thruster piece is on the back. Like in the very back, there's actually a back door, but it doesn't really lead into anything. There isn't like any cargo space back there. However, there is cargo space back here, as this is a dropship. You can just grab. You got some more stickers back here on the doors, and both doors open just fine. Just grab onto the little black piece here, and it just slides over, and they just slide over. It is a bit cramped in there. I doubt you'd get the other four figures, all of the other four figures in this area, or even if you just threw them in there. But you are able to at least squeeze Bistan in there, as he does as a role of gunner in the movie. He is specifically at the Battle of Scarif. And you notice on the sides, you got a couple of deployable blaster turrets as stud shooters. Like I said, it is pretty cramped in there. Anyone with noticeably large hands is definitely gonna have a hard time getting any figures in here. I think it'd probably just be easier for me if I only have one door open. There we go. So yeah, you'll probably only be able to fit one, maybe two figures in here. Actually, it may just be easier to have them standing up instead of sitting down. Well, let's see. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so he kind of sits in there, and he's at a good position to where where he can kind of man the gun. As I said, these are stud shooters, so you guys know how those work. I do believe that they do provide some extra shots. So that is everything in the set. Let's move on to my final thoughts. So, as the only Rogue One set I actually picked up, I do quite enjoy this set. There are a few things I would change up. Like I said at the end, that troop bay is rather small. You're not going to be able to fit a whole lot of figures in there, which is kind of bad for a gunship slash troop transport. And again, it's a small space. You're going to have difficulty getting figures in there. I mean, you guys saw how difficult it was for me just to get the one figure in there. But other than that, I do enjoy this set. And it's a good build. I do like the ship itself, and it translated pretty well into Lego. Some good figures. Like you got your two main heroes, Jyn and Cassian, plus the rest of them fill out the figure lineup pretty well. So yeah, it's a pretty good set, and much like the Razor Crest, it's probably one we're not going to see again. Basically, just due to how Lego Star Wars works, especially when it comes to new stuff. Normally, you'll get like one, maybe two waves of sets, and so while the whatever property is currently popular. All right, for example, Rogue One got two as the sets, and then nothing else after that. And sometimes not even that much. Like take the Obi-Wan series, like it got all of two sets with the Inquisitor Scythe Transport and the Obi-Wan and Darth Vader duel, or Andor, which got all of one set. So yeah, when it comes right down to it, especially with the Disney era, Lego doesn't seem to want to go back and either do new sets, like sets that off of something we didn't get the first time around, or even recreating sets instead that were already done. When it comes right down to it, they kind of want to focus on the original trilogy and not a whole lot else. Admittedly, they have been really getting back into making prequel series sets. That might just be because when it comes right down to it, the people who were kids back when the prequel movies came out are now adults, and they're like, we want Lego sets based off of the movies that were out when we were kids. So yeah, it might be a while before we get any more sets based off of the Disney movies, and that's if we ever do again. So it's really disappointing that this set is on Bricklink worth $180, so it definitely makes it a bit difficult for anyone who didn't get this set but really wants to be able to get it. And like I said, for me, besides for the Y-Wing and that came out on the second wave, this is the only Rogue One set I got a hold of. So it makes it difficult for me to want to get a hold of the Rogue One sets, especially since I wasn't able to get a hold of them when they were on shelves. But back to this set. It's pretty good. It got some good play features, good figures. If you are able to get a hold of it, but didn't, I would recommend it. And it's a good set. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. So that is the end of this video. Thank you for joining me for it. If you guys enjoyed it, you know what to do. Hit like, subscribe, all that stuff. Helps me out in the YouTube algorithm. You can check out some more of my content on the end screen in just a few seconds. And I'll see you all in the next video. Later, everybody.